bad composition and was part of regular circulation. Now, the 1974 Kennedy half dollar is generally considered a common coin. Over 200 million of these were produced at the Philadelphia Mint alone. However, collectors are still interested in them, especially if the coin is in high-grade uncirculated condition, proof, or shows any unusual errors. But for a regular 1974 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark in average, circulated condition meaning it shows wear, but is still fully readable, it doesn't fetch a premium price. As of 2025, the typical market value for a circulated 1974 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark ranges from 50 cents to $1. This is primarily due to its face value and the lack of silver content. Uncirculated examples coins that have never been used in commerce might sell for $2 to $5, depending on condition and whether they've been graded by a professional service. So while the 1974 no mint mark Kennedy half dollar is not particularly rare or valuable in average condition, it still holds historical and collector value. It's a great starter coin for new collectors or those interested in U.S. history. Next up, the 1968 D Kennedy half dollar, a coin that may look ordinary, especially when it's dirty or worn, but can still hold surprising value. The 1968 D Kennedy half dollar was struck at the Denver Mint and is composed of 40% silver, a composition used from 1965 through 1970. This coin features the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse. While these coins were minted in large numbers, their silver content keeps them in demand among collectors and investors alike. Now, we're not talking about pristine, uncirculated coins today. We're focusing on a well-worn, dirty example, the kind you might find in old coin jars, estate sales, or inherited collections. The condition we're discussing would be classified as circulated possibly with grime, discoloration, and moderate to heavy wear. As of today, the average silver melt value of a 1968 D Kennedy half dollar is around $4 to $5 USD based on the current silver spot price. However, some collectors may be willing to pay a bit more, up to $6 or $7, if the coin retains decent detail or is part of a larger lot. Keep in mind, condition is key for numismatic value, but for coins like this, silver content usually sets the floor price. Even in poor condition, these coins are worth holding on to, especially in bulk. Though most 1968 D Kennedy half dollars are common, there are a few error varieties that could boost value significantly, such as doubled dies or off-center strikes. If you suspect your coin may have an error, it's worth having it checked by a professional or submitting it to a coin grading service. So if you have a dirty old 1968 D Kennedy half dollar lying around, don't toss it. At the very least, its silver content makes it worth more than face value, and potentially much more if it has any collectible features. Next up, the 1973 Kennedy half dollar. Specifically, we're going to take a closer look at the value of the 1973 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark, in good condition, and its current market value. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar is part of the series that was minted to honor President John F. Kennedy. It was produced in relatively large numbers, but there's an interesting factor about the 1973 coin: its lack of a mint mark. For those who aren't familiar, mint marks are used to identify where a coin was struck, and for the 1973 half dollar, there were coins minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, the Philadelphia Mint did not place a mint mark on coins struck there in that year. In terms of value, a 1973 Kennedy half dollar in good condition, which typically means having minimal wear with clear details and a nice overall appearance, can fetch anywhere between $3 to $5 in today's market. This value is primarily based on the coin's silver content, which is about 40%. This makes the coin still valuable beyond its face value. However, the value can vary depending on specific market conditions, such as the price of silver or the coin's condition. If the coin is in exceptional condition, such as MS65 or higher, meaning it's nearly mint or flawless, the value could rise significantly, possibly reaching around $10 to $15 or even higher. The most important factor affecting the value of the 1973 Kennedy half dollar is the price of silver. Because the coin contains 40% silver, fluctuations in the silver market can directly impact how much collectors and investors are willing to pay for it. Additionally, coin condition, rarity, and demand within the numismatic market will play a role in determining its overall worth. While the 1973 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark may not be one of the rarest or most expensive coins in circulation, it's still a valuable piece due to its silver content and historical significance. In good condition, you can expect it to be worth around $3 to $5, with the potential for higher value depending on its quality. If you're a collector or just interested in learning more about coins, keep an eye out for these 1973 Kennedy half dollars. They might just surprise you with their value. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of coins and collectibles. Got a coin you're curious about? Drop it in the comments. I might feature it in a future video. See you next time. Happy collecting.